Ladies and gentlemen, can I get an amen? Can I get a hallelujah? Oh, yeah. It's show with no name time. And get ready for liftoff.
T-10,
Come on.
9, 8,
Countdown
7,
with me, folks.
6, 5,
4.
4,
Come
3,
on.
2,
The moment you've been
1,
waiting for.
0. Ignition.
Here we go.
Liftoff.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Yes, 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 yes.
Get ready.
Yes.
Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. Get ready
For the ride of your life.
The show with no. It's show with no name time.
Where?
On Vaughn Radio.
Right.
It's the show with no name.
Come on.
Let's go.
All right, all right. Welcome one, welcome all. We are back. That's right, baby. We are back after a long summer break. It's back to the grind. You say la vuelta al cole. We say back to the grind or back to the grindstone. And I'm going to start with a question right now. Did you? El did you lo decimos did you. Did you miss me? I missed you. I didn't say you, I said ya. I said, did you? Did you miss me? Well, I missed you guys too. Welcome back to another season of FYI. I think we're on the 15th or 16th season. Honestly, I lost track. Perdí la cuenta. That just means one thing, though, that this show is an institution. It's been on the air for longer than I can remember, and that's thanks to you, Show with No Namers. Welcome aboard. I hope you guys were practicing your English this summer, listening to podcasts, because even when we don't have live shows, you've got thousands of hours of content on my social media, on Vaughn's social media, on our YouTube pages. You have got a plethora of content at your fingertips, amigos. So I don't ever want to hear the excuse of, well, Alberto, we ran out of content. We didn't have enough content. You've got at least 10 hours, no, 11 hours of me every week with the show with no name and also with FYI. Don't forget, I've got a weekly podcast. It's called FYI for your English. And right now we're taking a look at the essential verbs in the English language. And that's awesome because we are going through the basic meanings and we're also looking at the phrasal verbs and the idiomatic expressions. And if you're paying attention, if you're following on social media, you'll notice that I dropped an episode on get the other day, and that is a very useful verb, the verb to get. So if you haven't gotten to take a look at that yet, go over to wherever you get your Vaughn podcasts and search for your English and take a look at the most common verbs. And as you know, seasons 1 through 6, we took a look at different topics from Walt Disney to the mafia to Tokyo. But now I decided we're going to familiarize ourselves with verbs instead of people, places, and things. And I think they're very, very useful. If you haven't given them a listen, there are already 5 episodes out. And those episodes are, I can tell you right now, let me just take a look. The first one was obviously the verb to be. Is there a more common verb than the verb to be? I mean, that's the one and only to be. Then we also took a look at make and do. We took a look at to have, to say and tell, and then our latest one, which is to get. So I urge you guys to get a hold of that. See, I'm using get without even trying to. And also, folks, we've got some participation that I need from you guys because, as you guys know, this show is not a show for you to sit there and just do nothing. This is a show where you have to be proactive. And so that said, I think we can take a look at this week's question of the week.
Question of the week.
Do you know about Vaughn groups? Well, I'm going to tell you all about them. They are group English classes that you can do via video conference or in person. And the good news is you can start whenever you want. And you can keep the same timetable, teacher, and classmates throughout the whole course. And the best part, there's no strings attached. Sin compromiso. And if you act now, you can get a 5% discount for paying up front. And if you stick with the course for 6 months, you'll get a 50% discount in June. Wow, what a deal! As if you needed more reasons to learn English with Vaughn. Check out our Vaughn groups. Have fun and make friends as you learn English. Sign up now while there are still spots available. Call us 911-385831, or you can go to our website, grupovaughn.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media and find out if Vaughn groups are for you. That's right, folks. More information about Vaughn groups or any of our amazing initiatives, just go to grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados. All right, well, I know you are all music lovers and that you really enjoy music. How do I know that? Well, because I can see it in our Name That Lyric. I can see it a lot of times when I teach you guys an idiomatic expression or a structure or something. You guys usually point it out in music. So I figured we could start out with something musical for this week's question of the week. Now, remember this, the way it works, real simple. Grab your phone, hit record audio note, or send a WhatsApp to your mom, and then later send it to me if you need to do that. Just hit record and introduce yourself. Always introduce yourself because we want to know whose beautiful voice we are listening to. Hi, this is Laura. Hi, this is Leo, which, by the way, happy birthday to Leo. Happy belated birthday. It was Leo's birthday. When was it? It was August 30th. So about 8 or 9 days ago, your buddy Leo had a birthday. So introduce yourself. Hi, it's Blase Blah. And my favorite musical instrument is because, and that's it. So this week, we're looking at your favorite musical instrument and why. This is great because we'll get to look at all different kinds of musical instruments, while we also look at these specific adjectives that we would use when we're talking about music. Adjectives, nouns as well, such as bass and treble. You know these, I'm sure. Bass is los agudos, if I'm not mistaken. And the treble, I always get confused with those. See, it's good for me to know as well. And in fact, right now, I'm taking a look at my first book, English Everywhere, Inglés en cualquier parte. Okay? And this book has 40 chapters. Each chapter deals with a certain place or thing. So at the restaurant, at the beach, and chapter 14, which is the one I'm looking at right now, has to do with music. So what is your favorite musical instrument and why? The why is always important. And guys, if you participate every week in the question of the week, you are definitely going to improve your English speaking. And isn't that what you're here for? Okay, yes, you're going to improve your listening just by tuning in to all our shows every day. But also, if you want to include speaking as something you're working on, then all you have to do is before Thursday evening every week, send me a 1-minute voice note introducing yourself and answering the question of the week. As I said, this week's question of the week is something easy. Sometimes I make you do some soul searching, and other times it's quite easy. But this week it's pretty easy. What's your favorite musical instrument? And the why is always defending it. Why did you choose that? Why did you choose a saxophone instead of an oboe, for example? All right, let's see. Let's review just to warm up for our pop quiz. Why don't we review some music vocabulary just to get in the mood for this week's question of the week? Oh, and once you have your 1-minute audio telling us your name and your favorite instrument and why, you can send it to my email address. It's alonso@grupovon.com. Alonso, there's no space, there's no dot, there's no underscore. It's Alonso. So Alonso. All together, alonso@grupovon.com. All right, let's see how you guys do. Piano de cola. How would you say this one? Quiero un piano de cola. I want a grand piano. We call it a grand piano or a baby grand as well. A baby grand or a grand piano. All right, what about bombo? My daughter right now is taking bateria lessons. How do we say that? Drum. We don't say battery. It's a false friend, right? Beware of those false friends. So a battery es una pila. My daughter's taking drum lessons right now. And so she's learning all of these. The one that is bombo, which I just realized, darle bombo, bom, bom, bom. Kind of, it's onomatopoeic and it makes sense. Bombo is the bass drum. Ahora, cuidado, se escribe bass, pero se dice bass, porque si dices bass, estás hablando de lubina. Hey, I'm just telling you, the bass drum es la batería, what's the other word? El tambor de la lubina. So the bass drum. You've got the platillo, cymbal, right? You got different cymbals. You got your crash, your hi-hat, and your crash, your hi, and then there's the, I can't remember. I used to play drums. My daughter probably knows these better than I do, all of the drums. Let's see. You've got arpa. Arpa is pretty similar. The only thing is it's got an H, and it's a very famous beer as well. It's also the symbol of Guinness and Ireland. It's the harp. The harp, acuérdate, en inglés, lleva una H, right? Harp. I love the flautín. We call it the piccolo. It's the Italian word for little, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, and let's see if you know this one. Director de orquesta. I used to say orquestra, but obviously it's not orquestra. In English, it's orchestra, but in Spanish, it's orquesta, right? No hay una R. It reminds me of crocodile and cocodrilo. It's not I used to say crocodrilo, right? Not naturally, crocodile. All right. Well, the director is the conductor, because what they do with that stick is they conduct the orchestra. All right. Let's see some other musical expressions. Redoble. You guys know that one. How do we say redoble? I said it here many times on the show. Drum roll. Because it sounds like it's rolling. A drum roll. Let's see. What about pegadizo? Something we use when we talk about music. Oh, esta canción es muy pegadiza. This song is really catchy. It's really catchy. And what about rasguear? Tocar la guitarra, right? Rasguear. I can tell you an easy way to remember this one. Are there any fans of The Clash here? The group The Clash? London calling from the runaway land. Well, clash means pelearse, right? Enfrentarse, the clash of the titans, de los titanes. But also to clash means no hacer juego, right? Piénsalo, chocan, no hacen juego. But his name, the lead singer and rhythm guitarist of The Clash, His name is Joe Strummer. Hello, to strum the guitar, and you probably know it from a song. Strumming my pain with his finger, strumming my life with his word, strumming my pain. So there you go, my amigo. Really easy to remember if you know that song, Roberta Flack and Killing Me Softly, and if you're a fan of The Clash and Joe Strummer. All right, some more musical expressions. Again, this is just to get your creative juices flowing. And we're looking at ones from English Everywhere, from my first book, English Everywhere. How would you say, Lara va a su bola? Let's see if you know this one. Va a su bola. This is my daughter, all right. Lara marches to the beat of her own drum. Okay, or marches to her own drum. You can take the beat out, but the beat is the full expression. Lara marches, desfila, to the beat of her own drum. What about no quiero ser el segundo plato? You know this one? I don't want to play second fiddle. And the fiddle is another way of saying the violin. A fiddle is what they call it in the South. It reminds me of the famous play, obra de teatro, Fiddler on the Roof. If I was a rich man. We also have an expression with fiddle. Si estás en buena forma, you are as fit as a fiddle. You are as fit as a fiddle. Another one, let's see, I'll give you one more, and then we're going to go into today's pop quiz. I see we've got a lot of people checking in as well, so we'll say hello to everybody. Let's see, how would you say dos no pelean si uno no quiere? O sea, se requieren dos, ¿no? Para algo, para hacer lo que sea en la vida. Las cosas no pasan solo por una persona. It takes two to tango, two to tango. It's a great song. It takes two to tango. Requiere dos para hacer un tango. You can find all these expressions in English Everywhere. And folks, I urge you all to practice your speaking in this week's Question of the Week. But right now, it's time for another challenge. It's time for your pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. All right, amigos, it is time for our pop quiz. I've got some killer content here from my third book. This book is The Milk 2. If you have the book, this is chapter 6. You can follow along. Listen carefully because I will have a challenge for you afterwards. Hey, Damian, I like your gear, man.
¿Cómo? ¿Que te gusta mi marcha de conducir, de la palanca de cambios? ¿De qué me estás hablando?
No, not your gears. Your gear, your clothes, your style.
Yeah, the way
You dress.
I dress. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, in English,
you.
it's a very native way of saying, oh, man, your gear, tu ropa, tu forma de vestir.
Por eso el videojuego Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. And also,
Yeah.
también es tu equipo. If you go snowboarding, don't forget all your gear.
O sea, ¿el equipo o el ropaje que lleves?
So it makes sense. Me encanta.
Yeah.
I love when things make sense. Now, do you consider yourself a guy who follows fashion?
Yeah, not too much.
No?
Not too much. No, I always dress the same way.
I hate when people say, eso es muy fashion.
Eso es
Oh,
muy
that's
fashion.
very fashion.
Yeah.
Ahora,
Ooh.
Eso en inglés no vale. Si lo dices en español, no te voy a corregir. Eso es muy fashion. Pero that's very fashion. ¿Qué falla ahí?
Yeah, it should be in English. You should say that's very fashionable or in fashion.
In fashion or in style, como la
In
revista.
style. Ah, nice.
¿Y
In
cómo es
style.
algo que se ha pasado de moda? Excuse me.
Out of fashion?
Out of style or out of fashion?
Out of style or
Pero
out of
acuérdate,
fashion?
siempre vamos con el que tiene menos sílabas.
Yeah.
Fashion, 2. Uf, ya
Mm.
me cuesta
Y lo
mucho.
contrario de in es out.
Y de hecho, hay veces en el contexto, pues, oh man, that is so out. That's
Mm.
so in. Está de
Mm.
moda. So, again, in context, no hay que decir ni style.
And you also say this thing that's so 2019.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
say that thing.
Oh man, that's so 1990s.
Yeah, it's so
You know, eso es-
1990s.
se
Come
quedó
on.
en los 90, ¿no?
Se está en 2018 lo que estás diciendo.
I always tell people, I don't follow fashion. Fashion follows me.
Yes,
No,
sir.
I'm joking. I have zero fashion sense. In fact, my wife, a lot of times she says, okay, back to the drawing board, que la expresión que significa, volvemos a cero. Or like you're wearing a shirt that has a hole in it and I should look in the mirror more often.
But I wouldn't say so. I think you dress very not in fashion, but in your own fashion.
Well,
That maybe you got stuck in the 90s. That's probably just like me. But you have your way of dressing.
Well, man, I always used to buy my kicks at Foot Locker.
Foot Locker, nice word.
And kicks, una
Yeah.
forma de decir zapatillas.
Oh
de
yeah,
deporte.
let's talk about zapatillas because you have sneakers, right?
Sneakers, because you can sneak around.
Yeah, sneak.
You can hacerlo a escondidas.
Yeah, they don't sound
Right.
when.
And the British ones are called trainers because you train in them.
Yeah, nice.
And then we call them kicks also as a slang way.
because you can kick with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My new
makes
kicks.
sense.
My new kicks. I got
But-
them at Foot Locker. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't actually have foot lockers at home, right? Where you put where you lock your sneakers in.
Well, no, I think this came more from locker rooms,
Yeah.
vestuarios.
Vestuarios,
You know,
ya que tienen
where-
taquillas, lockers. Okay.
But then they would have a foot locker. So you wouldn't have to put your shoes, your stinky, smelly shoes, with your jersey, que es un false friend. A
Okay.
jersey no es un jersey, Damian. What is a jersey?
A jersey que es
Uniforme.
uniforme.
Like, so my Real Madrid jersey no es un engaña
yeah.
esa
Exacto, es
palabra.
la camiseta deportiva, eso es. yeah.
uniforme de deporte, sí.
Ya, ya,
debería
ya.
explicarlo más.
Ya.
So, my
Qué bueno.
jersey. Y
Ya.
la expresión, he hung up his jersey, ¿qué significaría con ese contexto?
He hung up.
His
Colgó la
jersey.
camiseta.
Yeah, se
Ya.
retiró.
Claro.
Al final, when they honor an NBA player, they hang up their
Because
jersey.
in the end, when you say uniforme, you're not referring to the trousers, for example, right?
Yeah, or a police uniform. Obviously, there are other
Yeah.
uses, but a sporting uniform, that would be. Now, in England, they call it a kit, like a football kit,
Kit, el kit deportivo, yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
we would say it's your jersey, your shorts,
Yeah. Okay.
Gear works, your football gear,
Your
para
football
volver
gear. Yeah.
al
and,
gear.
by the way, talking about gears, Top Gear. Do you remember that show?
I love Top Gear, sure.
Yeah. Why is it called that way? Because marchas de coche is gears. So you have to change gears.
Absolutely. Something I was thinking about too is a little onomatopoeia. We got a lot of onomatopoeia when it comes to things that we've got in our closet, in el armario. What about those flip-flops?
Yeah, it's the way it sounds, right?
Flip-flop.
It's a brilliant word. I love it.
Absolutely. Flip-flops.
Much better than
chanclas.
chancleta. Chancla is funny,
Mhm.
but flip-flop is perfect.
And I like slippers too. Slippers son las de casa.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are two reasons for it. Because, well, you could slip. Como son un poco más resbaladizas, you could slip.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But also, when you get home from work, you want to slip them on. Es otra forma de decir ponértelas.
Como que las deslizas.
Yeah,
Deslizas el pie hacia adentro, ¿no?
Lo usamos cuando decimos ponernos algo cómodo. I'm
Mm.
going to slip on some sweats.
Yeah.
All right. It's another way of saying to put on, ponerse algo.
Yeah. Well, I'm falling asleep after this chat.
Well, dude, suit up. We are going to the runway. Y no digo al aeropuerto. I'm saying la pasarela. All right, folks, if you were paying attention, I've got a couple challenges for you in today's pop quiz. Again, that was from This Book is the Milk Too. Number one, we said something about the word gear, which we said has many meanings. It means clothing. It means many different things. It means marcha. There's also an expression, me saca de quicio, that has to do with the word gear. That's number one. Use it in context. Give me the expression that has to do with the word gear, and it has to do with sacar de quicio, to really annoy somebody. The second one is an expression I used that says, la vuelta, volver desde cero. I said, my wife sends me back, vuelve de cero. Did you catch that idiomatic expression? And the third one, I said another way of saying zapatillas, but that is also a way of saying me flipa tal cosa. So how would you say, it's a double trouble, me flipan esas zapatillas de deporte? Folks, we'll be right back with tons more, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's Show with No Name here on Vaughn Radio. It's a pleasure to be with all my Show with No Namers. I'll be reading your comments in just a little bit. Thank you so much, guys, for learning English with me here on the Show with No Name. And I think I speak on behalf of all my friends. Thank you so much for learning with us and laughing with us every day. If you don't have the Vaughn Radio app, download it, and this way you can stay up to date with all your favorite shows. It's Vaughn Radio. If you're looking for courses, materials, and all kinds of fun stuff, or even a free level test, you can reach out. You can contact us on social media, or you can go to our website, grupovon.com/cursos destacados. Don't forget, if you're in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza, feel free to stop by. We would love to chat with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. It'll be a blast. All right, folks, I left you with today's pop quiz. I want a way of saying sacar de quicio, to really annoy you. That's number one. Number two, a way of saying to start over, to start again. And the third one is a double trouble. Realmente me flipan estas zapatillas de deporte. Those are your 3 challenges in today's pop quiz. And now it's time for a listening challenge. We call it the Say What Soundbite. Come on. Say what? What? All right, folks, it's your Say What Soundbite on the Show with No Name. Say What Soundbite, amigos. By the way, I hope you had a great summer. I had a wonderful summer. We kicked it off. Well, I started it off in Dublin. I went to Dublin for the first time in my life. It was awesome. I really enjoyed the people, the city. And then we went on the Disney cruise. The Disney Dream was the name of the ship. It was my first cruise ship. It was absolutely amazing. And then we spent some time down in Almeria, where my family is from. So a little bit of everything this summer. And most of all, just trying to get some R&R, some rest and relaxation. I hope you guys got some R&R, and I hope you're ready to get back to work, to rock and roll, because I've already got challenges lined up for you. I've got a lot of people checking in and saying hello right now, but nobody has answered our 3 questions, our 3 challenges in our pop quiz. Number 1, how do you say that something really annoys you using the word gear? Que no se pronuncia gear, Metal Gear, I've heard people say. Number 2, how do you say partir de cero, volver a cero, to start over, to start again? And the third one's a double trouble. Realmente me flipan esas zapatillas de deporte. As always, in your Say What soundbite, you're going to hear a famous person speaking. I'm going to play this soundbite that I've prepared for you 4 times. You're going to hear it 4 times. I think it should be easy today. Some days it's harder. I would put this on the easier side. Your first mission is to sum up what you heard in your best English in a sentence or 2. Because remember, usually it's only 2 or 3 sentences. So in a sentence or 2, I want you to tell me in your best English what you just heard. And hopefully by the end of it, you'll be able to get it down word for word. As I said, you'll have 4 chances. All right, is everybody ready? Grab a pen, grab a notebook, and get ready to participate. I hope you guys are rested and that your ears are ready to absorb tons of English, because we're going to learn so much this year, not just with me, but also with my buddies here on Vaughn Radio. And remember, there's no better way to warm up, calentar, to warm up for this show than listening to my friend Fitz's master class. It's called No Excuses, and it's from 9:30 to 10:30. It's right before this show every day on Vaughn Radio. All right, here's your Say What soundbite for the first time.
He's about the only thing in the world we got to live for. That's what we put in our daily life for. And we've got a lot of responsibility, is to try to leave the world better than we found it.
All right. Whoa. All right. Interesting accent, I would say. All right. Let me give you a second just to jot that down, and then I am going to give it to you again. All right. Is everybody ready? Here's your Say What soundbite for the second time.
He's about the only thing in the world we got to live for. That's what we put in our daily life for. And we've got a lot of responsibility, is to try to leave the world better than we found it.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer, or football as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's part for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que ha sido a gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit. That's right, amigos. My latest book, This Book is the Shit, available wherever fine books are sold. All right, so we've listened to the Say What soundbite twice. I've given you the question of the week, and we've got our pop quiz. All right, so let's see who's in the house. Good morning, Show with No Namers. A blessing to have you with us, as always. Front row center this morning, we've got lovely Laura. And Laura says, good morning, Alberto, and lovely Show with No Namers. It's wonderful to be back. I hope you're all doing great. Likewise. Esta es muy buena, ¿eh? Si no lo sabes, likewise. Lo mismo te digo. Likewise, Laura. We missed you very much. I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the Show with No Namers. She also says, happy belated birthday, Leo. That's right. Belated is when we get there a little bit late. But since we didn't have a show on his birthday, well, it's better late than never, right? Mejor tarde que nunca. There's our movie queen, Chris Valrol. What's up, Chris? She says, morning, Alberto and mates. Happy to be here with you again. Double A, thanks to you, we have enough content this life and the next two at least. Happy belated birthday, Leo. Thank you. Yeah, guys, seriously. You've got a lot, just on Vaughn Radio, you've got over 12 hours of fresh, brand spanking new content every day. And all you have to do is download the Vaughn Radio app. So great to have you on board, Laura and Chris. We've got Marisol in the house joining us as well. Marisol says, hi, Show with No Namers. Nice to hear from you again. Great to have you on board, Marisol. And she says, I finished studying a course and I'm waiting for some company to call to do the work experience. Therefore, so far, I have time to listen to the Show with No Name live, not life, right? Life es la vida, live es en directo. Well, congrats. Congrats on finishing the course, Marisol. She also says, by the way, happy belated. Cuidado, la Y es una T. Belated. Happy belated birthday, Leo. Wow, Leo, I hope you're feeling all the love you're getting right now. Let's see who else is on board. We've got Elena in the house. Hello, Elena. She says, hello, teacher, Laura, Cristina, Marisol, and everyone. It's great to be back, full of beans. Lleno de habichuelas, de habas? Well, yeah, that doesn't mean that she's going to fart, so to speak. No. Well, beans, they're good for your heart. The more you eat them, the more you fart. But no. Full of beans means full of energy. Excited. Great to have you with us, Elena. I think that was our first totally native of the new school year. There's Anix. She's been here since day one, rocking and rolling with us in her paradise that she works from, the Botanical Gardens. And Anix says, hey, yeah, it's nice to have you and to be back. Let's get down to business. Vamos al lío. Welcome, Anix. It's a pleasure to have you with us, as always. There's Gloria. I think I got your number. Now, do you know that expression? That could mean two things. Gloria I think I got your number. A lo mejor tengo tu número de teléfono, pero también es a lo mejor te tengo calada, te tengo fichada. I got your number, Gloria. I think I got your number. I can, just so you know, it's a good way to remember that expression. Te tengo calada, Gloria. Gloria says, good morning, everyone. Elena says, participating in the pop quiz. She says, I need to start from scratch. I go mental for those sneakers. All right, to start from scratch es partir de cero. And to go mental es me flipan. And sneakers, but it's not a double trouble. Remember, I was looking for a double trouble with that last one. And you're missing the me saca de quicio. It gets on my nerves. Mira, otro con get. It gets on my nerves. It drives me nuts when this happens. All right, let's see. Gloria's taking a stab at it. Gloria says, it grinds my gear. I'm going to make a little adjustment there. It grinds my gears, right? Con ese. Te dije que es con gear, pero es con ese. It grinds my gears or it gets me bent out of shape. Wow, that's the one. To grind my gears. Solo hay que añadir la S, Gloria. Man, when people are rude, it really grinds my gears. It gets me bent out of shape. It gets under my skin. It gets on my nerves. There you go. Then Gloria says, start from scratch. Guys, remember, it's best for you if you give it to me in context. So, start from scratch está muy bien, pero ahí no lo estamos poniendo en uso, right? And that's what we need to do. So, I burnt the cake. Yo te doy un ejemplo, no te preocupes. I burnt the cake, so now I'll have to start from scratch. Y ahora, en vez de solo soltar frases al aire, estamos diciendo una frase que diríamos, ¿no? Quemé la tarta, ahora tendré que partir o empezar de cero. All right, great job, Gloria and Elena. Let's see, Laura says, rude people grind my gears. All right, there's that gears, but with an S. We got to add an S. To grind is rechinar, right? Rude people grind my gears. You also say bruxismo, right? When somebody grinds their teeth. You get the idea behind the word grind, okay? And if you grind coffee beans, we were talking about being full of beans, it's called ground coffee because it's grind. It's an irregular verb. So the participle is ground. It's a weird one, isn't it? So rude people grind my gears. Yeah, same here. Same, Laura. She says they should start from square one and learn how to be polite. Excellent job. To start from square one. And she says, those sneakers flip me out. All right, it's not a double trouble, but I'm going to give it to you, Laura. All right. So does anybody, that double trouble, you didn't expect that, huh? You don't usually have a double trouble, in our pop quiz. But today you've got a hybrid. It's a pop quiz with a double trouble included at the end. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. Let's see, Elena. Oh, Elena's participating in the Say What soundbite. Same as Anik, same as Laura. Let's see. Chris is participating in our pop quiz. She says, I couldn't remember the expression. It grinds my gears. That's the one. It grinds my gears. And she says, it seems like I return from scratch. From scratch, desde cero. And the last one, I'm a little bit rusted. Sería más común decir rusty con Y. I'm a little bit rusty, and I don't know the other one. Let's see. Laura says, those flippers flip me out. I love Laura. I love it. It's very creative, but flippers are what you use when you go scuba diving. Hacer buceo. Those are flippers. So does anyone know it? Remember I said another word for sneakers. I said sneakers. I said trainers, and I said kicks. Nice kicks. Me encanta tus zapatillas. Man, nice kicks. I like them. Patadas, we call them. So I get a kick out of those kicks. Me flipan esas zapatillas de deporte. There's your double trouble. I get a kick out of those kicks. That was number 3. Number 2 is to go back to square one. Another one, which I don't think anybody used here, is to go back to the drawing board. La que usé en el audio de This Book is the Milk Too. We have to go back to the drawing board. Partir de cero. And the first one is, if something gets on your nerves, if something gets under your skin, if something pisses you off or annoys you, it really grinds your gears. And we looked at the meaning of the word grind over there. All right, we also looked at the word, that's interesting, we looked at the word grind in back to the grind, back to the grindstone. Es la vuelta al cole. That was not planned. But now we get the idea behind grind, right? And in that case, it's an idiomatic expression, like zzz, a la tabla. No, tengo que seguir trabajando. Volver a la ruedita esta que afila los cuchillos, that grinds the stones, you know? Basically, it means back to work. All right, let's see. We've got people participating in our Say What soundbite. Let's see what you guys heard. Elena says, a man, perhaps a politician who mumbles, that's a great word there, to mumble is to speak like this, to not really open your mouth when you're speaking. So a man, perhaps a politician who mumbles about the responsibility one has to improve the world. Absolutely. Elena, spot on. Spot on. He's not a politician, but that kind, you know, definitely that type. And he is mumbling a bit, and he is talking about his and our responsibility to make the world a better place. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones that make a brighter day. So let's start giving. All right, I'll stop. I'll stop because I don't want it to rain. Great job, Elena. Well, everybody's doing a wonderful job so far. All right, let's see. Anix. Let's see what Anix has to say. Anix says, it sounds like an old record. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that old record sound is old audio. Remember now, you know, a kid with a USB mic can record better audio than, you know, they recorded in 1940 in a big studio for a fraction of the price, right? So yes, it's definitely an old recording, Anix. Good ear. She says, it sounds like an old record or an old recording then. No sé si quieres decir un disco, un vinilo viejo, que es lo que has dicho, or an old recording, una grabación antigua. Then she says, I heard an elderly man speaking. Great word. It sounds a lot better than old. So great job there, Anix. Very diplomatic. I heard an elderly man speaking. I think he's from the south of the USA. He said something about responsibility. Absolutely. Great job, Elena and Anix. Let's see. Laura. Laura always has some awesome observations. She says, I heard an American man with a Southern accent. Excellent job. I'm glad you guys caught that Southern twang over there. Now, remember, he lives in the South. Esa es fácil. But he's not Southern. He's Southern. He's a Southern guy. And he speaks a mile a minute. Oh, okay. I wasn't thinking it was too fast. But I guess also, if he's got that Southern twang, it's a little bit harder to understand. So he speaks a mile a minute, and he talks about people's responsibility to leave the world better than they have found it. Absolutely, Laura. Nailing it. Wow, you guys, I can tell that you are well rested because you are kicking butt so far this morning. Let's see. Chris says, I heard an American man who speaks at lightning speed. Oh, interesting. I guess, you know what? When I heard it, I didn't think it was that fast. But if two of my superstar students are telling me that it's fast, Well, I got to take their word for it. So it is faster than I had originally thought. And she says, I heard an American man who speaks at lightning speed. With his beautiful accent, I barely understood. Well, that's cool. That's interesting that you liked the accent, that you enjoyed it. And she says, I'd say he talks about something that is a matter of daily work, daily life, and responsibility. Absolutely. Maybe he's talking about that work-life balance, right? What do you call that? Work-life balance. Work-life, you say compensación. There's a word for it in Spanish. Work-life balance. Armonía, no, compensar. I don't know the word you use in Spanish, but I know it is a word that you do use here. There's a certain word for el compensación de trabajo, something. We call it work-life balance. So it's great that you all figured out that he's from the South. He's a Southern man. And the good news is, folks, we're going to hear that in just another minute. But right now, we've got to take a quick commercial break. Chris also says maybe he doesn't speak very fast, but he mumbles, and his accent doesn't help. No matter you that. Well, it's true. I think at least my students, the accent you're the least used to hearing is the Southern accent, right? Because you hear British accents pretty often. But from the South of the United States, I don't think you're exposed to those as much. All right, amigos, we'll be right back with the second half of today's show with no name. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to, can't believe it, part 3 of today's show with no name. Don't forget, after today's show, you've got a class with Nacho and Jimena in the program Test Your English. That's right after this show. That's at 12:30 on Vaughn Radio. Oh, and I'm going to give you guys the official scoop. Nobody has told you this information yet because it's not public yet. Nope. No. I will be hosting the next Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. Mark your calendars. It's Wednesday, October 2nd. I'll give you more information as we get closer, but it is Wednesday, October 2nd. It'll be here in Madrid, and I'll be hosting. And you want to know something? It's going to be a really special day for me because it's my Show with No Name anniversary. The Show with No Name started on October 2nd, 2008. What? Yeah, I know, it's insane. So it's going to be a special trivia night because I'll be celebrating the anniversary of this show, The Show with No Name, with my friends and my Show with No Namers. I hope you guys will join us. All right, time for another challenge. Get ready for Homophones on The Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, folks. Homophones, where we look at words that tend to be a little bit tricky and cause confusion among my students, at least in my over 20 years of teaching. These are the big ones. First, I want you to tell me what the words are. And second, do they sound exactly the same or not? The first word is a military rank. You say coronel, coronel. It is a military rank. I don't know very much about the military and the different ranks, but coronel. Okay. I'm trying to think of the most famous. The most famous one is Sanders. Do you know Coronel Sanders? Have you ever had Kentucky Fried Chicken? Then you'll know who Coronel, I'm saying it in Spanish, by the way. Porque no te lo voy a soplar. I'm not going to give it away. No. So, Coronel Sanders. ¿Te suena? Kentucky Fried Chicken, man. He's the guy who made Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's the Coronel's recipe, supposedly. Remember, recipe es una receta en la cocina, and a prescription es una receta farmacéutica. Okay? Just, they're not the same. Okay? Sometimes chicken soup is like a prescription. No, un buen caldito de pollo when you're not feeling good, that can be just as good as some medicine, of course. All right, so coronel. Coronel is our first word. See if you know it. And the second word is a word that is the meat of a nut. Okay? Fruto, nuez, avellana, almendra. Also, it's grano, semilla. If we think of it figuratively, it's the essence of something, right? El núcleo, el meollo. So, do you know those two words? The second word, fruto, nuez, avellana, grano, semilla, meollo, núcleo. That's the second word. The first one is a military rank or a guy who makes chicken. Coronel. What are those two words, and do they sound exactly the same or not? Also, let me give you today's Say What soundbite for the third time. Now, everybody pay close attention because I know this Southern accent is grinding your gears.
He's about the only thing in the world we got to live for. That's what we put in our daily life for. And we've got a lot of responsibility is to try to leave the world better than we found it.
Howdy, Richard Vaughn here, founder and host of Vaughn Radio. Meet my amazing team.
Hello there, this is Julia from the Let's Get Random show. Let's navigate life together, practicing our English.
Hi, this is Kyle Miller. I present the Drive Time Show every day at 6 o'clock on Vaughn Radio. Hi, this is Jimena,
Y yo soy Nacho,
and you can listen to us every day on Test Your English
a las 12:30.
at 12:30. Tune in!
This is Fitz from No Excuses. Let's get ready to rumble. Come rumble with me on No Excuses.
This is Chris with Frankly Speaking. The doors open every night at 7:30. Let's talk soon.
Hi, this is Dave Boys from The Salad. Join us every day, live at 5.
Hey, it's Alberto Alonso from the show with no name. And don't forget about Rob, Andy, Ruby, and Tino.
Download our free app, Vaughan Radio or Vaughan Radio, and learn English with all of us on the go.
Guys, download the free app, and this way you'll never miss an episode of your favorite Vaughan Radio programs. All right, folks, let's see how you did in the homophones section. I also gave you your Say What soundbite for the third time, so you'll be getting that one more time in the fourth and final part of today's show. And, well, after we take a look at this, we will go into today's spelling bee. All right, the first person to participate, well, we got Chris. Chris says, AA, it wasn't a complaint. We are really fortunate because you expose our ear to different accents. No doubt about it, Chris. No, I didn't take it as a complaint at all, in fact. But I know it's a harder accent because you're used to a more of a standard American accent than a down south, down in Alabama. You know what I mean? Which is totally normal because most famous people don't have that accent, especially when they're in an interview or something. They tone it down or they get more of a standard English going. So I think even for native speakers, it's one of the bang. That's what it sounds like to many people. Let's see. Elena says, where are the boys? They overslept. I don't know, but they are missing out. Well, they're not really missing out. Hi, guys, because as you guys know, we've got tons of listeners who tune in live. And then we've got thousands and thousands of people who download the podcast and who watch the YouTube video later as well. So it's up to you guys. If you can't tune in live, we love you just the same. That's the whole reason we have podcasts. So, you know, if you've got a dentist appointment or who knows, you got a new job and it happens to be at 10:30 a.m. when the show with no name starts, you never have to miss it. You can listen to it at 10:30 p.m. if you want. Let's see. Laura says, I was trying to jot down what he was saying, and it was difficult to keep up. Well, Laura, as always, as long as you do your best, that is all that counts. All right, let's see. We've got a lot of people participating here in the Homophones Challenge. Elena is the first one to participate. And Elena, your two words are correct. And Elena says they are no doubt homophones. Oh, wow. You seem pretty sure. They are no doubt homophones. She's willing to bet her right arm. Well, those aren't her words. Those are my words. But she says no doubt there. Laura also gives us the two words written correctly. And she says they sound alike. Chris Valrol gives us the same words, and she says, I'd say they are homophones. All right, so right now, we've got Elena, Laura, and Chris that agree. Marisol, you've given me the words, but you flipped them. So remember, guys, it's really important that you give me the right order, porque entonces yo creo que tú crees que coronel se escribe como la primera, y no es la segunda. So your words, Marisol, your words are written correctly, but they're not in the right order. So por mí, ahora me dice que, right, coronel se escribe como meollo, y, right? So just be careful because I want to know that we're talking about the same thing here. All right. So the first word is colonel. I talked to the colonel. You know Colonel Sanders? Yeah, he's that guy who wears that bow tie and has got that funky mustache. He is the logo of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and also the guy who, when they talk about the secret recipe, it's the Colonel's secret recipe. All right, so that's the first one, Colonel. The second one, I can use an example. Yesterday, I went to see Beetlejuice. Don't worry, I won't say it 3 times. I went to go see Beetlejuice yesterday, and when I was brushing my teeth before I went to bed, I had kernels of popcorn everywhere. Is it me, Or is it that kernels get everywhere? Like, it's incredible. And kernels are the little pieces. We use them when we talk about popcorn. We also say there's a kernel of truth in what you're saying, right? There's a piece, the kernel of his message, the main idea, the point is another way to say that as well. So the Colonel, let's put them in a sentence together, okay? The Colonel choked on a popcorn kernel. The Colonel choked on a popcorn kernel. Yes. Now, how crazy is that? How crazy is that the word colonel, si lo estoy diciendo como se escribe, colonel, sounds like colonel. Where's the R? It's so confusing. Not to you, because you guys figured it out. So wonderful job. But man, anybody who says English is, difficult, I can't argue with them when a word like that comes up. What do I say? It's colonel. Entonces, ¿por qué no pone una R ahí dentro? I know. But that's why we looked at these words, because they're tricky words. Colonel. So if you remember that, you can remember Colonel Sanders. You can think of him, Kentucky Fried Chicken, eating some popcorn out of one of his chicken buckets, and he gets a kernel in his tooth, right? Stuck in his tooth. So excellent job to all my show with no namers. Elena, Laura, Chris, Marisol, wonderful job in today's homophones. But now it's time to move on to yet another challenge. It's our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
All right, amigos, it is time for our spelling bee, and I know it. This is a very challenging part of the show every day. But again, this is so essential. It's so important that if I tell you to write something down, spelling it, you can do it. Or that I tell you, could you spell your last name for me? Gutierrez. And you're not like E-I. No, I-E. No, E-I. You need to know these letters and how to spell them, and you don't want to have any second guessing. It's no, E-I. You want to know them perfectly, because this is easy as 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. So this section came from me realizing I had a serious problem with students being able to spell things aloud in English. They get confused, again, with the A, the E, and the I. The Y throws them off. The J and the G. Believe me, 20 years of experience, those are the doozies. Las chungas. So here we go, my amigos. I'm going to give this to you here for the first time. Let's capitalize the first letter of every word, and this way it'll just make it easier. There are some numbers in here as well. And as always, in the first round, man, I go full force. I don't have any mercy. Nada de piedad. I don't care if you get it. ¿Por qué? Porque hay gente en la vida así, que van a decir, no las pido, sorry. So the second time is the nice guy. The first time is the guy who's like, I'm having a bad day, and, I'm going to make your life difficult. Unfortunately, again, there are people like that. The good thing is there are also people who go above and beyond, who don't only do their job, but they do more than their job. And those are the kind of people. They don't only do what their teacher tells them, they do their own. They're people who are self-motivated, automotivados. All right, here we go with round one. The first word is M-U-N-I-C-H. The second one is H-E-N-R-Y space L-I-O-N. The third one is I-S-A-R space R-I-V-E-R. The fourth one is U-P-P-E-R space B-A-V-A-R-I-A. The next one is 1,589,706. And the next one is two numbers, okay? The first number is 80331, and the second number is 81929. ¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. More information about Weekend Town, Vaughan Town, group classes, one-to-one, the Disney English course, whatever you want to find out about, you can get all the information over at grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Also, make sure you're following us on social media. All right, let's see. Going once, going twice. I'm checking the answers here to our first round of our spelling bee. Let's see. Anyone going once? I'm giving you some time here. Anybody? Okay. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to have to give it to you then a second time. Anybody giving you one last chance? All right. This is round 2 of today's spelling. Hang on 1 second. I don't want to jump the gun here, but it looks like we have got a winner. Let's see if he got it right. Folks, it's our buddy Born to Iron Man. You say he slept in. I don't know. He's not the kind of guy to sleep in. Born to Iron Man, great to have you on board. And he says, good morning, mates. Let's see. Good morning to you, Born to Iron Man. In fact, as soon as I started spelling bee, I go, where's our spelling bee champion? Let's see. The first one is correct, sir. The second one is also correct. The third one is correct. The fourth one's correct. The fifth one is correct. And ladies and gentlemen, unfreaking believable. Born to Iron Man. Unbelievable. Born to Iron Man. You came on strong there. And welcome back. Welcome back. That's a great way to come back. Nailing it on the first go. All right, let's see if you guys can join our buddy Born to Iron Man. All right, the first word is M-U-N-I-C-H. The second one is H-E-N-R-Y space L-I-O-N. The third one is I-S-A-R space R-I-V-E-R. You like my German music there? The fourth one, U-P-P-E-R space B-A-V-A-R-I-A. The next one's a number. The number of inhabitants, 1,589,706. And the last one is two numbers, the first one being 80331, and the second one is 81929. Does anybody feel like celebrating Oktoberfest? Hey, did somebody say beer? All right, well, the reason we're looking at these words today, these words that have something to do with Germany, something to do with Munich, Bavaria. It's in the area of Bavaria. And the reason I chose these words is because today in 1158, in a galaxy far, far away, no, actually here on planet Earth, the city of Munich in Germany was founded by Henry the Lion. That was number 2. Number 2, Henry Lion. Number 1 was Munich. Okay. Number 2 was Henry the Lion. And that was Henry III, also known as Henry III, Duke of Saxony, and Henry XII, Duke of Bavaria. How can you be 2 Henrys? Guys, I'm never going to understand some stuff over here. Well, thanks, Henry the Lion, for founding Munich. I've been there. It's a beautiful city. And it's on the banks of the river Isar. Number 3 is the Isar River. So number 1, Munich. Number 2, Henry the Lion, who founded it. Number 3, where he founded it, on the banks of the Isar River. Number 4 is Upper Bavaria. It's located in upper is superior, lower is, right? We use it not only in geography, but on a piece of paper. Write your name in the upper left corner. En el superior, izquierda, right? En el inferior, the lower right-hand corner, right? So Upper Bavaria. And I learned something about the Bavarians, the people from Munich and other Bavarians. And again, I'm generalizing, but I heard this from a German person. And he said, if you ask someone, not everybody, but if you ask certain people in smaller villages and things where they're from, they won't say Germany. They'll say Bavaria. So they're very, very proud of their region. Does that sound familiar? Hey, I'm just saying, a German friend told me that. And I said, hey, wait, that sounds really familiar, right? We're really proud of our region. Well, hey, look at us Americans. We're very proud. We're very patriotic people. All right, the next one was a number. It was the amount of inhabitants, the population, and that was 1,589,706. Okay? En español, a ver si me sale, 1,589,706 habitantes. We say inhabitants, not habitants. So 1 million, no 1 million, nunca es millions. 2 millions, no, siempre 2 million. Si fueran un millón más, sería 2,589,706. And the last 2 numbers were the zip codes. Now, I think in England, they call them postal codes. You say código postal, right? We call them zip codes in the United States, not to be confused with area codes. An area code is like in New York, 212, el prefijo. That's an area code. You put it before a phone number. But a zip code, you have to put in the address of, if you're sending an envelope or a letter to someone, you've got to put the correct zip code. All right, so let's see if anybody else got these. As I said, Born to Iron Man, knocking it out of the park. Also, Laura, great job. Born to Iron Man and Laura in our spelling bee. Let's see. Laura says, there you are, BTI, our spelling bee master. No doubt about it. Marisol says, good job, fellows. I missed a couple of letters. I'm untrained. Well, don't worry. We are going to work on it. This year, we are going to take our English to the next level. Folks, we'll be right back with the 4th and final part of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. I can't believe it. We are in the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. I hope you guys are having fun. It's great to be back, honestly. I really missed you guys. And you know me, I'm a sincere person. If there's one thing I am, it's sincere. I'm too old to not be sincere. I don't have time for that shit or energy for it anymore. Gotta be sincere. Gotta keep it real. And that's what I teach you here on the show, real English. One of my favorite things that happens to me is when a student comes up to me and says, Alberto, I heard that idiomatic expression you taught us in a movie. And I say, hallelujah. And a lot of times I get the idiomatic expressions from a movie or a book or an article I'm reading or a podcast. I always think to myself, ooh, this is a good one. I think my students are going to love this one. And then I bring it here and I serve it up to you. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, for me, Oktoberfest is in Real Madrid next month. You can bet the farm I'll try to be there. Great, folks. Yeah, I haven't given that information out. You're the first ones to know it. Mark your calendars. October 2nd. It's a Wednesday. I'll be hosting Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. It's also the celebration of the show with no name. Been on the air since 2008. That's insane. 2008. All right, folks, here we go with today's double trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
All right, folks, double trouble here on the show with no name. Let's take a look at today's double trouble and see if you guys can figure it out. I think it'll be relatively easy, but we shall see. And remember, I told you I was on a Disney cruise this summer? By the way, it's a lot more expensive than other cruise lines, but it's incredible. Like, there are no words. Because a lot of people ask me, say, Alberto, I've done cruises or I've been to Disney, but how do the two mix? I have goosebumps right now, just thinking of the experience. So it's basically a cruise, but a la Disney. That means like top service, top shows, top entertainment. Incredible. The food, everything was just amazing. And, but again, you're paying a premium price because, well, when you're having breakfast with, the genie in Aladdin, you say, Aladdin, I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Oh, man, I love it. I got to say it. I'm a Disney adult. I don't like the direction the company has gone in, but I have to say they are kings at making magic, and we'll have those memories forever. In fact, it was funny because the ship stopped in Palermo, in Rome, in Florence, and do you know how many times we got off the ship? 0. I'm serious. We don't care about cathedrals in Rome in 40-degree weather with American tourists everywhere. No offense, but no thanks. Geez, my daughter wants to go on the aqueduct. That's what she wants to do. She wants to go in the Mickey pool. The aqueduct, by the way, it's a very funny name for a water slide. Un tobogán que tienen. Piensa, aqueducto, aqueduct. Pues lo llaman aqueduct because it was built by Donald Duck, supposedly. So, awesome stuff. Well, getting back to Aladdin, you say, here's today's double trouble. El genio dijo que ya te dije cómo se dice genio. It's not genius. Genius es genio. Tú sí que sabes, eh? I just gave you the other way to say it. Think of Christina Aguilera. Baby, gotta rub me the right way, honey. So, el genio dijo que me iba a conceder 3 deseos. Yo pedí una subvención. There you go. That's it. We've already looked at a double trouble today. We looked at, I really get a kick out of those kicks. Me flipan esas zapatillas. Right? I get a kick out of those kicks. Well, here's another one. El genio dijo que me iba a conceder 3 deseos. Yo pedí una subvención. Elena says, we were in Rome for 4 days, and indeed it was scorching hot. Well, I've been to Rome, and our trip was not to see Italy. Our trip was to enjoy a cruise. So we didn't get off. And you know what the best part of not getting off the boat was? Everybody gets off the boat. So we had the pool, the buffet. At one day, when I think it was in Rome, there were 240 people on the ship, guests. 240 people on a big ship. And we were 3 of those. 4, my mom as well. There were 4 of us. So we were included in those. It's incredible. You have a big boat, 1 million pools, everything for you, because everybody's walking around Rome. And let me ask you this. Do you think my daughter wants to see cathedrals at 5? She'll be 5 this week. You think she wants to see cathedrals? I don't think so. You think she wants to play and do activities at the Oceaneers Club? Absolutely. So we made the right decision. And I've been to Rome. I'd like to go to Sicily, but not in peak season. I'd rather be on the boat, chilling out. So it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. The memories will last a lifetime. All right, let me give you today's Say What soundbite. It seems like you guys are having some difficulty with this one today, but let me give it to you for the 4th and final time.
He's about the only thing in the world we got to live for. That's what we put in our daily life for. And we've got a lot of responsibility is to try to leave the world better than we found it.
All right, there you go, amigos. That is the 4th and final listen of today's Say What soundbite. Hopefully somebody will be able to figure it out. Let's see. Laura. Laura's participating in our double trouble. Let's see how Laura did. She said, the genie said that he was going to grant me 3 wishes. I asked for a grant. Absolutely. Makes sense, right? Te conceden, te subvencionan, ¿no? Una subvención. They granted me a grant. Ahora es redundante decirlo así, pero para que lo oigas junto. He was granted a grant from the government, right? Una subvención. So the genie said he was going to grant me 3 wishes. I asked for a grant. Excellent job, Laura. And granted, we use ciertamente, sin duda. Granted, he's a nice guy. O sea, cuando decimos solo granted, a secas así. Granted, he's a nice guy. Te digo eso, ciertamente, sin duda, nadie te lo va a decir que no. Right? Granted. Great word, very rich word as well. And let's see if anybody else got it with Laura. Elena says, the genie said that he'd grant me 3 wishes, and I asked for a grant. Yes. Also, Chris Balrol as well. Wonderful job, ladies. Laura, Elena, and Chris nailed today's double trouble. What a way to kick off this season. Let's see. Also, Laura got our Say What soundbite. Whoa! I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Gotta rub me the right way, honey. Folks, it's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right. It's Name That Movie. Have you seen any good movies lately? This summer, yesterday I saw Beetlejuice. Don't worry, I won't say it another 2 times. which I liked, but I knew I was going to like it because I'm a fan of the original. And Tim Burton waited 26 years. So he passed on a lot of scripts. He said, this is the one finally. But, this isn't like, oh, let's make one. This has been in talks since the other one came out and was so successful. So 26 years later, he's back, baby. The juice is loose, que es interesante porque no sé cómo traducen ese chiste. Lo vimos en inglés. The juice, Beetlejuice, porque no es juice en inglés, es juice como zumo. So they say the juice is loose. Está suelto, está sembrado. I don't know how they translated that. El juice está loose? I don't know. Well, great way to learn from movies. The other one I saw was Wolverine and Deadpool, which was really funny too. Not for kids, not for every audience there. All right. A retired master car thief. This is the synopsis. A retired master car thief must come back to the industry and steal 50 cars with his crew in one night to save his brother's life. That's a weird premise, isn't it? That's a really weird one. So a retired master car thief. Thief es ladrón. Thieves, se cambia la F a V. Must come back to the industry and steal 50 cars, robar. Remember, we call it Grand Theft Auto. Sound familiar? From the video game. With his crew, con su grupito, in one night to save his brother's life. Wow, talk about some drama there. Also, give it up for Elena. She also got today's Say What soundbite. Wow. And Chris just gave us to take something for granted. Darlo por hecho, darlo por sentado. To take for granted. So we're really getting to know this word grant today. Let's see. Laura says, I watched The Accountant the other day, starring Ben Affleck, and I loved it. Well, great. Thanks for letting us know, Laura. It's always good to get recommendations because I remember back in the day, there were a lot of good movies. And now it's like every now and again, every once in a blue moon, there's a decent movie. So great, Laura. We'll definitely add it to the list. And ladies and gentlemen, our movie queen, she is back. It's Chris Valrol. The movie is Gone in 60 Seconds. Gone in 60 Seconds. This movie stars Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie. It came out in the year 2000. Wow, is it that long ago? Guys, that's 24 years ago. Almost 25. What? Yeah. Anybody feeling old? Let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen for you here. They are in a Ferrari dealership. A dealership is concesionario. And the dealer is the person, el comercial de coches. Also, a dealer is a croupier if you go to a casino, right? And so Roger, the car salesman, the car dealer, says, and I'm going to do my best car dealer sound. My name's Roger, sir. May I be of some help? ¿Te puedo así ayudar? And Memphis says, that's funny. My name's Roger. Two Rogers don't make a right. You get the joke? Okay, well, we say two rights don't make a wrong. No, two wrongs don't make a right. ¿Qué significa? If somebody wrongs you, te hace algo malo, you don't get back at them. Two wrongs don't make a right. ¿No? Si haces dos cosas malas, ahora no está todo bien. Ahora son dos cosas malas, right? It's about taking revenge and things. So he's trying to be funny. Two Rogers don't make a right instead of two wrongs don't make a right. And then Memphis says, Roger, I have a problem. And Roger, the car salesman, says, yeah? And Memphis says, I've been in LA for 3 months now. Llevo 3 meses en Los Angeles ahora. I have money. I have taste. Tengo gusto. But I'm not on anybody's A-list. Now, the A-list is la lista de top. Okay? In Hollywood, that's how they talk about celebrities. Tom Cruise is an A-list celebrity. I'm sure in Spain, it's a different. Well, I guess the only A-list celebrities in Spain, Spanish A-list celebrities would be Bardem. What's the director's name? A-list means the whole world knows your name, not just in one country, right? So like someone, Pablo Motos is very famous in Spain, but if he went to Hollywood or the United States, he could just walk around freely. Nobody would know who he was, only the Spanish people, right? So A-list, B-list, son conocidos, pero bueno, están en unas películas menos tal. So, and you can go from one list to another. A lot of A-list celebrities maybe stop doing these big blockbusters and now they're B-list. They're not working as much. They're not as popular. It's all about popularity, kind of like high school. And if you've ever been to Los Angeles, it's like a big high school, honestly. So he goes, but I'm not on anybody's A-list. And Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week for me. Noche más solitario. And Roger says, well, a Ferrari would certainly change that. And Memphis says, perhaps. But, this is the one. Yep. I saw 3 of these parked outside the local Starbucks this morning, which tells me only one thing. There's too many self-indulgent es te quieres a ti mismo, ¿no? Self-indulgent, que te cuidas más que todos. You're the self-indulgent wieners. Now, I want you to be careful with this word because my wife makes a mistake here. A wiener is a penis. Well, it's a sausage. We were talking about Oktoberfest before. A penis is a wiener. It's also a hot dog, right? You get it? Hot dog, no? A wiener. The only problem is I've heard a lot of people say, you are a wiener, when you really want to say you're a winner. So it's very different to be a wiener than a winner, okay? And he's saying wiener. So the word self-indulgent, autocomplaciente, it says here. So there's too many self-indulgent wieners in this city with too much bloody money, okay? Now, if I was driving a 1967 275 GTB 4 cam, and then Roger cuts him off, le interrumpe, he says, you would not be a self-indulgent wiener, sir? No lo serías. He goes, you'd be a connoisseur, no, un conocedor. And Memphis says, precisely. Champagne would fall from the heavens. Doors would open. Velvet ropes would part. O sea, entraría en todas las discotecas, ¿no? Velvet ropes would part. So as Chris Valrol said, the movie is gone in 60 seconds. All right, it's time for famous birthday trivia. All right, let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. The first person was born in 1960. His last name is Conceder o Subvención. Did you darlo por sentado? Well, it's also, his name is also in that expression. And he's an English actor and producer. He usually, not anymore, but he usually played like the leading man in rom-coms, romantic comedies. Let's see. You probably know him from Sense and Sensibility. You probably know him from, what are some of the most common ones here? 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill. I've heard people say Nothing Hill. It's dos T's, okay? La Colina de Nada. Notting Hill, Bridget Jones' Diary, About a Boy, and lately he played an Oompa Loompa. He was really good, I thought. So lately he's been going against that character. He was in one pretty recently, The Gentleman. That was a really good one with directed by Guy Ritchie. and he just plays a scumbag. Yeah, just a guy's disgusting. But he does. It's funny because it's so against his character as the loving playboy, rich boy. Number 2, this guy, man, thanks to him, we've got some really yummy, crispy chicken. And this guy was an American businessman and founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken. He sold the company, which is now called KFC, but he continued to act as the brand ambassador and also a symbol for the company. And you'll still see his logo on there. And last but not least, and he's a coronel, which we looked at that word today. And last but not least, this person was born in 1941, probably one of my favorite singers ever. Sitting on the dock of the bay. He also did Try a Little Tenderness, Lover's Prayer, The Sad Song. Just listen to this guy's greatest hits. You will not regret it. He is ace, probably one of the best voices out there. And while you guys are thinking that through, I'm going to give you today's Say What soundbite. Good job to the ladies who nailed it. This was Colonel Sanders from KFC. Colonel Sanders, and he's talking about kids. And he goes, it's about the only thing in the world we've got to live for, los niños. Es lo único que tenemos por vivir, nuestra razón por vivir. It's about the only thing in the world we've got to live for. That's why we put in our daily life for. Por eso estamos todos los días dándolo todo. And we've got a lot of responsibility. It's to try to leave the world better than we found it. Amen, Colonel Sanders. You don't just make delicious chicken, but you've got a wonderful philosophy. Here he is, Colonel Sanders.
He's about the only thing in the world we got to live for. That's what we put in our daily life for. And we've got a lot of responsibility is to try to leave the world better than we found it.
All right, and we've got a winner in famous birthdays, Chris Valrol. We got Hugh Grant, number 1. Hugh Grant, number 2, Colonel Sanders, and number 3, Otis Redding. Folks, it's time for our last section, Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. And what can I say? Fantastic job. It's really great to have you guys back. It's really wonderful to sit in front of this microphone again and in front of this camera and teach you English. I couldn't ask for better students. And you're always saying, Alberto, we're lucky. We learned English with you. We laugh. But let me tell you something. This summer, of course, I was enjoying my time off, but I really miss spending time with you guys because you are not just amazing students, but you are wonderful people as well. Keep bringing the magic, amigos, and we'll bring more magic on tomorrow's program. Let's take a look at Name That Lyric. Esto es mi oración de amante. Espero que te llegue, mi amor. Esto es mi oración de amante. Y espero que lo entiendas, mi amor. Mi vida es una cosa tan cansada, tan débil. The word there is weary. A ver cómo lo traducen. Not to be confused with weary. Weary means cansado, agotado. Weary, W-E-A-R-Y. And wary, lo digo porque muchos americanos se equivocan, sin la E es receloso. I would be very wary of him because he's weary. ¿Ves? Weary. No, te lo digo, se equivocan hasta americanos con esta. All right, well, the song is Otis Redding, our birthday boy, Otis Redding, and it's called Lover's Prayer. And there's something else we can look at too. The verb is to pray, and it's called a prayer. ¿Ves cómo cambia el sonido vocal? So Living on a prayer, take my prayer. And to pray is the verb. So thank you once again to all of you. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll be back tomorrow with more Show with No Name. Thanks so much, Show with No Namers. Stay tuned for Ximena Holiday and Test Your English.
I hope it'll reach out to you, my love.